About the 49ers, though, there's a couple of different spots where I think you can maybe take advantage of them. If Trent Williams doesn't play this football game, they're going to go with Colton McKivitz at the left tackle spot.
I like that. That'd be great.
Yeah, and I don't think Colton McKivitz, when you talk about physicality, power, all those things that Trent Williams is setting the edge, Colton McKivitz isn't that guy. And I feel like, though, there's like with him, and then Tom Compton plays the other tackle for the 49ers. So your right tackle, your left tackle, if that's the case in this football game, I like your opportunity with Randy Gregory. I like your possibilities with Lawrence working against these guys, and then kind of figure out there how you want to use if you want to use Parsons in this football game. I kind of feel like that Lakeland Tomlinson is a good player at guard for them. I think he's got some power. Alex Mack is a good center for them. They got him from Atlanta as a free agent on a while back. So this offensive line, especially with the offensive tackles, if in fact Trent Williams doesn't play, that's your advantage right there. Now, if he plays, it's a little bit different story because that's going to be, Randy going one-on-one. Randy's had his struggles with dealing with some power players. But again, I feel like you got to kind of move on these guys. I don't feel like you could stand in one spot. If they have to slant the line, if they have to do some movement, if they have to play a little twist game stunt to get these guys off balance, I kind of feel like that's what they need to do to win this game. Because, if you just sit there and line up straight up and say, okay, we're going to go toe-to-toe with these guys and make it work, I don't think that's the case, especially if Trent Williams is in the game. But with McKivitz, I think that maybe you have a little bit better advantage of Randy getting something done over there on that side.
But in the running game, they still had a lot of success without Trent. Maybe his absence is hurt more in the passing game.
I feel like, though, in the passing game, because he's able just to kind of shut you off. In the running game out there, though, like I said, to me, McKivitz is good, but it's about when you set edges, it's about getting movement. And I don't really see the movement with this guy, and that's something that, like, okay, if you take him on, get away, get off the blocks, and then make tackles, that's where, because if Trent Williams gets his hands on you, you're generally pretty much done. That's just the way he plays. He's been like that since he was with the football team. So he's always been a guy. I think that Tank and also Randy have a little bit of an understanding of how to play him. Hopefully, if you're a Cowboy fan, you do not have to face him in this football game. We've talked plenty about the wide receivers with Deebo Samuel. He is just such a weapon. Brandon Ayuk is a really good player for two, but also this Jawan Jennings has kind of come along for them a little bit and made some plays. He was a 7th-round pick back in 2020, and he's done a pretty nice job for them making some plays. But get ready for Ayuk and get ready for Samuel to line up in the backfield. They're gonna toss him the ball. They're gonna hand him the ball. They're gonna give him the ball in jet sweeps. They're gonna give you all that movement, the eye candy, all those things we talked about a little bit yesterday with what you get with this Shanahan offense. They're gonna try and get you going one direction and then bring the ball back the other. Just have to completely be ready to that. Don't get fooled by all the eye candy. Play your responsibility, step up and make plays. Again, these guys could be difficult to tackle. They're like running back size guys that play wide receiver and can be difficult to bring down. I know watching the Rams game, I'm going to say they missed 19 tackles in that game. Whew. It was a tough game tackling for the Rams. Cowboys, you can't miss 19 tackles in this game. You got to find a way to get these cats on the ground.
I remember how devastating the jet sweep was with Tavon Austin and Todd Gurley with the Rams.
Yeah.
And that sort of eye candy. You've upgraded the talent significantly, but I don't feel that much better about the Cowboys' ability to handle it right now. Hopefully they surprise me.
Well, I tell you what, it's all going to be about just playing the assignments. I mean, when you've played against teams that have kind of given you, the read option stuff, Arizona, things like that, just don't be fooled by these guys. Play your assignment, trust your eyes, go get the football. That's what you got to do. I mean, if you could choke the run against these guys, I swear you could beat this football team because I'm going to make this quarterback have to play. And I've said this before. I said it when it was with the Cleveland game. Hey, you got to make Baker Mayfield play in this game. And then they run for 300 yards and he never has to play. You make Jimmy Garoppolo play in this football game, you win this football game. I like Elijah Mitchell, though, the running back they got in the 6th round of this past draft. They like to use a lot of different, like I mentioned, the receivers or running backs. Also keep an eye on Jeffrey Wilson's another one, number 20.
He's Texas.
Yeah, he's a
Elkhart.
He's a good little player for them. So, and then this is a team that uses a traditional fullback. If you follow where Juszczyk goes, he'll generally take you to where the ball goes. That's something you kind of keep an eye on. You also got to worry about a lot of waggles, boots, ball going one way, and then tight ends, fullback, receivers, everybody coming underneath. The Cowboys do the same thing in the passing game with the boots, the waggles, things like that. So a lot to kind of digest right there. But if you catch a break with no Trent Williams in the game, I think you got an advantage right there. Okay, we flip it over to the defensive side of the ball. I think you could throw the ball against these guys. I really do. And now they're struggling a little bit with the health of some of their cornerbacks here.
Dang it.
Josh Norman has been a guy that I was watching a bunch on tape, but they've replaced him. They've taken him out of the lineup here and said, we're not going to play with him. They have this K'Wan Williams, I think, is a really good player for them as a nickel corner. So you're going to see him a lot more in this game. And then this Ambre Thomas is a third-round pick. He had an interception in the game the other day, but I kind of feel like that these guys give up a lot of space in routes. I don't feel like they play on top of you like they really need to, or they could be physical enough with you. The safeties are two physical players. Jimmy Ward and Tart are both like kind of banger guys that like to come down, tackle in the box, stuff like that. But I feel like the ball can you could take advantage of them in space, throwing the ball on them in coverage. And I kind of feel like you could take the ball over the top of both these guys. Don't be surprised if you see Dallas try and take some shots, maybe some max protection, and then throw the ball down the field, down that sidelines. You got to try and loosen these guys up a little bit. But this defense, this secondary, you block this front with Nick Bosa and Armstead and those guys. Arden Key's involved in this. Quintarius Street is another defensive tackle. These are guys that you're going to have to block. But if you can take care of that, I kind of feel like you can make some plays. Like I've said before, I like the linebacker Fred Warner. Jeff and I liked him a lot coming out of BYU as a cover guy. He's probably their best tackler on the field. So in the running game, you got to be able to handle him. He's number 54. Get a hat on him. Take care of him. Then maybe you have a little bit more success running the football. But they're going to put Armstead at that under tackle or that 3 technique. He's going to be wide on the shoulder, and it's going to be difficult. I have a feeling they're going to put him over Connor Williams. And then on the outside, maybe you see Nick Bosa over on the side with Smith, and that makes that you can't get some help on Armstead over to that side. So, just keep an eye on him. He could be a guy that could cause a lot of problems inside for you. Make sure you block him, and then you could, like I say, you can get the ball down the field.